Hey y'all, it's Lola the Tech Doll. Welcome to Real Software Engineering-ish, where I teach you soft engineering design and concepts that can elevate your career. So for today's topic, we will be going over factory design pattern. It is a type of creational software design pattern where it creates the blueprint for a superclass for the objects it's creating, and those subclasses that come out of that superclass handles the details for it. So you're probably like, okay, what does what you just said mean? Well, imagine you're going to a bakery that specializes specifically in baking cakes. There's lots of flavors. There's vanilla, there's strawberry, there's chocolate. And to be honest, all you just want is a chocolate cake. So you would go to the baker, tell him, hey, I want a chocolate cake, all the details of it. And that baker goes, does his thing, and then brings you back the chocolate cake. And that essentially is factory design pattern. The factory in this case would be the baker creating that cake for you. The superclass is cake because you know you want a cake. And the subclass is the specifics of that chocolate cake that he's now going to create because you wanted a cake, but you specifically wanted a chocolate cake. Now that you have an idea of what factory design pattern is, you're probably wondering when in software would you use it. So an easy example is, let's say your application has both a Postgres SQL database, but also like an Elasticsearch instance. You would need your application to distinguish to know which data store to use. So a factory pattern comes in where it can be helpful is basically filtering or directing it to which database connection it needs, whether it be that SQL or Elasticsearch. Another great example, which in my opinion is like the most common, is if you think of a video game. When you create a character in a video game, they could be a warrior, a miner. Sorry, I don't play games, but usually in those video games, like everyone needs a hat or like some clothing wear or some accessory items, and usually that's fundamentally the same, but you only need one character designed in the way that you customized it. So that would be a great example of when you would use factory design pattern. You're welcome. All right, now that you guys have some fundamental core understanding, let's move on to the coding tutorial. I am a Python girly, so I will be demonstrating how to code a factory design pattern in Python. The other thing I will also be showing is an abstract method in factory design, but don't panic because I'll explain as I'm coding it. Because naturally, essentially, most of my factory design pattern experience has honestly been an abstract factory design pattern experience. So I really want to give you guys that real software engineering-ish. Okay guys, let's get started on coding our factory design pattern method. I'm a Python girly, so I'm gonna teach y'all via Python. I will also from time to time like shift to my other monitor because y'all, let's keep it a buck. Like nobody just comes out the gate like coding from a blank file unless it's like relatively simple functions. But yeah, let's create a factory design pattern. So what we're going to do first is we're actually going to do an abstract factory method pattern, which an abstract factory. So over time, like when we go back to the cake analogy, there's things they're going to have in common. Like they're going to have like icing, filling, toppings, different things such as that. And instead of like writing them over and over, you can have a blueprint abstract class that kind of sets the tone for those methods as you're making these subclasses from that superclass in your factory method. So I'm going to have a class cake factory. Okay, let's add a method here called create cake because essentially we're a baker. So we're going to be, oh my gosh, y'all, we're going to be creating the cake. And this is important because someone is requesting a cake. We're going to put cake, I'll just call it cake type. Let's not make it complicated. So we'll just start with some basic flavors. So if cake type equal chocolate. Return. Here we're going to have a chocolate cake class, but we haven't made it yet. So for now, we are going to comment that and just put a pass so that red won't freak me out. If cake type equal vanilla, we're going to return the vanilla cake class. Gonna hit a return here. And let's just do strawberry, I guess. I'm keeping it very simple here. I really want you guys to grasp the concept of a factory design pattern. Return, why is it RA? Return strawberry cake. All right. And yeah. Oh, but you know what? Let me make these ellipses because let's say someone returns a cake pattern you don't want. This cake does not exist at this bakery. I know, pretty straightforward, but gotta make sure. So with that being said, I am gonna teach you guys an abstract factory method, factory design pattern, because in my personal experience, it's always been an abstract factory. Maybe there's non-abstract ones, but I don't know. That has been my experience. So I'm going to teach you what I think will be relevant. So I'm going to go to the screen, look up the imports for the abstract because I don't know that off the top of my head. Give me 1 second. All right. So they are from ABC import. All right, abstract method. Okay. So, the ABC, you know what? I should know what it stands for. But basically, if you want to follow factory design pattern in Python, there's a library you can use that says, hey, this type of class, if you use this ABC, is just a blueprint for factory classes, but it's not necessarily like something you could just call standalone on its own. So in this case, I'm literally going to call it cake, you guys. Nothing crazy here. It's going to go from the ABC class. Now I'm thinking, okay, for the abstract method, it's going to be super boring here. Oh my God, I keep doing that. And we're just going to call it bake. So we're going to have a method called bake. And basically what this means is that for this chocolate cake, for this vanilla cake, and for this strawberry cake, all of them would have bake. And here you could add things like toppings such as such. And this will ensure that as like it's going through this factory design pattern that it has these methods. Um, and for now, I'm just gonna leave it blank because the child classes are actually gonna be the ones that write it. But there are cases where you can put stuff in here. I don't know, but a lot of times I just see like arrays not implemented error because like they're like, hey, you need to like actually implement this class in this blueprint class. All right, so let's get this party started. So I will make a chocolate cake, which will inherit from this cake. And I will give it a def bake because it has to bake. And I'm just going to return, this is baking a chocolate cake. Woot, woot. All right, we'll do a vanilla cake, which will also inherit from that abstract class. Def bake, return. This is baking. I'll put this is making a
vanilla cake. And then I'll do yummy. I mean, it's just a string, y'all. It's nothing fun here. And then we'll do strawberry cake. And we'll do the fig. And then we'll do, this is baking. Ooh, I'm currently preparing. And yeah, so far that is pretty much it. The great thing I love about being a Python dev, I did start in the C world, is that everything is pretty straightforward in Python. There's no, in my opinion, complex, but if this was complex, please give me that feedback so I can try to simplify, but I try to make this make as much sense as possible. So with that being said, now we're going to give it a shot, see if it actually works. I have started a new coding style where instead of having like perfectly working tutorials, we do it live together and either I'm embarrassing myself or not. So we'll see. Uh, so I did it again. If name equal main. Normally I do a def main. I don't even know why I do this sometimes, but I wanted to give you guys like relevant things you'll learn. Okay, so let's start the bakery. So I'm gonna call it bakery equal cake factory. So let's instantiate the cake factory. Now we are going to make some yummy, yummy cake. So let's start with a chocolate cake. So as you guys remember, we'll do bakery dot bake. Oh my gosh, I guess I could have came up with a better name of chocolate. Because if you guys remembered from this method here, oh, which by the way, I forgot to get rid of all these passes now that these functions exist. So let's go ahead and do that. Get rid of these passes. Y'all forgive me, like Pepe is screaming at me right now. So we're gonna bake chocolate. We'll print chocolate cake. We'll do vanilla cake. We'll do, oh wait, we have a strawberry cake. And we'll print it. Ah. Okay, so if you guys remember here, we have instantiated our cake factory class here in this create cake. Oh my gosh, we called it create cake. You guys, I need to get it together. It's kind of amusing at this point. Hopefully you're still watching this tutorial, but you know, it's kind of funny. Okay, so with this, if you guys notice this create cake, I want to create a chocolate cake. So this person got a chocolate cake. So we pass in the type chocolate. As you can see, if the cake type is vanilla, vanilla cake, and we have strawberry cake. So let's run that bad boy. Let's see what we get here. So, oh, that was from a previous tutorial. Let's go into this factory design. So if I run this, let's see what we get. Okay, so it looks here that I just printed out the objects, which is kind of amusing, but still kind of cool. But what we actually want, if you guys remember, is those bake methods. So let's go ahead and add the bake methods so we can see what happens here. Because I mean, printing out an object makes no sense. You want the functions from them in this case. And it should print out our string. And so you see, this is baking a chocolate cake, woo woo. This is making a vanilla cake, and we have a strawberry cake. And there you guys have it, factory design pattern. You guys have learned another creational software design pattern. If you like more content like this, please let me know. I tried to make this simple, but if you guys would rather have me like design like actual like DB or something in an application, let me know. But I know I can get long-winded, which is why I was trying to keep this as simple as possible. But yeah, there you have it, you guys. That's factory design pattern. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe because it motivates me to keep going.